Alright guys, name's John aka Hazink and welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. Now, the intro there was just a wee bit of a joke because of the subject matter of this week's video, or today's video. Tyler aka Nanogenix has put out a challenge on Twitter, and it is to use the Vegeta's family category team to cause as much damage as possible on the final stage of Gogeta's Dokkan event. I'm just going to cut in a wee video of Nano here explaining what the actual challenge is.
Alright, listen up. We have a brand new Twitter challenge right here that I think you guys are going to enjoy. So what we're going to do, reply to this tweet with your submissions of you doing the challenge. And of course, you can, if you got a super dope stream setup, recording setup, whatever, you can do it that way with your face cam and all of that. Or the beautiful thing about phones these days is there's screen recording built in. So you can record on your iOS device, Android, whatever, and submit it that way too. It doesn't matter to me. However, the challenge, you're going to be hopping in on LR Gogeta Blue's event. By the way, I'm talking against STR LR Gogeta Blue here. The final stage of the Gogeta Blue event with a Vegeta's family team, specifically Vegeta's family. If you do not use Vegeta's family, immediately disqualified. No items. You cannot use items to manipulate the key field, to boost your attack, any of that. 0 items. And lastly, the challenge, the goal is to see how much damage you can do with one singular hit. So one singular hit using a Vegeta's family team with no items on the LR Gogeta Blue event. Respond to this tweet right here, and as you know, this is more than likely, and by more than likely, it's almost definitely going to be turned into a YouTube video. So of course, you be in the YouTube video, all that fun stuff. And one last shout out, not last shout out, but I guess a shout out to Ryan for giving me this absolutely brilliant idea. Oh, I guess I should add, you have 24 hours from right now to respond. I'll be looking at these in exactly 24 hours.
Alright, so now that we've heard from Nano what the rules of his little challenge is, I've got my run here. This is the run that I've kind of settled on. I had an idea of what I wanted to do. It took me a few attempts to actually get my rotations and stuff like that the way that I needed them, as well as kind of managing energy for the earlier stages of this event. Now, 2 things that I needed to happen is I needed a Dokkan attack, which is quite hard to be honest, because these bosses are pretty easy to kill, especially when you've got a team that synergizes as well as Vegeta's family. Also, I needed to try and get as many super attacks with Trunks as possible before I do what I do at the end. And transforming Vegeta, I had to get him to his blue state, which again is quite hard to do in an event like this, because I'd say if you were playing it normally, just normally trying to beat the event, you're not going to see Vegeta becoming Vegeta Blue. It's just not going to happen, you know. Now, as you can see here, early on, everything's going exactly the way I want it to. I mean, I'd say I maybe killed him a bit fast, but there wasn't much I can do about it, because in not many of these rotations, apart from this rotation when I've got both Super Saiyan 4 Vegetas on the same rotation, obviously linked up together, they're not giving each other ki. So that was quite handy because it made it easier to avoid the super attack. But the problem I found in some of the earlier runs I was trying was, try as hard as you might to not get super attacks, you're getting so much ki off the support units, you're getting so much ki from the leader skill as well, and there's just so many rainbow orbs kicking about, it can be sometimes quite hard to just not get a super attack in. So I'd say there's a certain degree of luck to this. However, I did have a strategy, so I don't think it was a lucky run per se, because I do have other runs where I got close to this score. This is just my highest score on the actual challenge itself. So, as you can see here, things are going well. I'm not taking a lot of damage off of super attacks. I've got Trunks pulling off his supers the way I needed them to. I'm slowly building up the Dokkan meter. If you keep an eye at the bottom, you'll be able to see that the Dokkan meter is kind of building up the way I needed to. Again, if I could have, I would have probably took another maybe round to beat him there. But I knew here I was going in with type disadvantage with the 2 Super Saiyan 4s. So obviously, I could get a wee bit of ki and stuff like that here, which was quite handy for the Dokkan meter. Just during this run as well, I'd like to say thanks to Nano, because obviously he's a big creator, and stuff like this gives him content for his channel, yeah, because obviously he gets to comment on the runs he's watching people do, but it also gives other content creators, like smaller channels like myself, a chance to do something a wee bit different, you know, and just got to say thank you to him for that, you know. I doubt very much he'll actually watch the whole video, but it'd be interesting that if he did, I'd like to give Nano a challenge, which is I'd be interested to see what his fastest time on the Legendary Goku event using a Kamehameha team before the links change on global. It'd be just quite interesting to see how fast he does it. And what he uses for it as well. So we're moving along quite nicely now. In my head a wee bit at this point, I was kind of a little bit concerned that I was going a bit fast, but obviously I wasn't, or else I wouldn't be commenting over the top of this video and telling you how it's going to be the run that I'm submitting for the best score. Now, the problem I had was things like that, you know, just they were critting far too often, multiple super attacks, additionals, things like that kind of make it hard for you to manage what you're doing. And the only other thing I was really worried about was I did not want to get Bula on rotation. I wanted either Vegeta or Trunks as my support character, because they, if you let them super attack, they provide a 50% attack buff, which is obviously what you need when you're trying to get a kind of score like this. So we actually don't have long to go now. I think, if I can remember right, there's 2 more rotations until Vegeta transforms. And if I remember rightly, I think the next round I start pushing for Ki for the Dokkan meter, because obviously as you can see just now it's still got a ways to go. So yeah, that's what I was doing there. I mean, I didn't want, luckily I could have put Vegeta into the first slot there and got the yellow orbs and then possibly got some green orbs with Trunks, but I didn't want to get too much Ki for the Dokkan meter because I didn't want to take the chance of it possibly popping early. It's been a while since I've used Vegeta's family. It's a team that I used to enjoy using quite a lot, and as times went on, all I've actually done is strengthen that team. But I don't find myself using it as much anymore. I've kind of become a bit of an addict to the Kamehameha team. I'd say, in my opinion, for me personally, with my box, I think it's the best team in the game for me. I mean, I do have a good Realm of Gods team and stuff like that, but the Kamehameha team is just bonkers. I mean, it's absolutely mental. It just tears through events without items, no problem at all. And the thing is, with the units that's coming up, it's just going to get stronger. Right, so this is the penultimate round. Moving on to the final round next, and this is where we pull off the attack stat that I'd been building up to. Now, I'd say I probably went through about 2 bars of energy in total to get this to work for me. Like I say, I knew what I was doing for the word go, but it took about 2 bars of energy for the stars to align and things to kind of go the way I knew they could go.
Please, everyone, lend me your power.
I like Trunks, but his adult English voice actor, I don't know, the lines aren't great if you ask me. So it was just a wee look at the attack stat before and the attack stat after, and obviously that'll get a bump again because Vegeta at the end is doing his super attack. Literally the run before this one, I had done everything exactly like this, except I missed the last Dokkan button, and it definitely made a difference. I missed that one the last time, and it made a big difference. And there's the crit. So 9.2 million, just under 9.3 million. I don't know if I could get any better. I mean, realistically, I don't think I could, but I'm happy with that, and that's my entry into Nano's score challenge for the biggest single attack with Vegeta's family against Gogeta. So anyway guys, thanks to Nano for this, and if you've been enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. Bye!